know to wait 30 seconds or whatever. But the one thing I don't want to have happen is like when people go on YouTube and bring it up and they're like, wait, what the heck? Is this just
Oh,
quiet the
yeah.
whole time? Again, I
Yeah,
think
I
people are
think I
probably
could
bright
start.
enough to noodle through
I
it.
could start the stream a little bit before we get.
Well, or like start it a little late, start it like wait until um you're brought up as a host, wait until
Oh yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah.
brought up as a host, you know what
We
I
could do
mean?
that too.
Like, yeah, anyway, technicalities. Feel like I haven't seen you in a long time, man. You're gonna have to come
And
over
it's
here.
been, it's been kind of crazy couple days for me. I told telling you about what was going on with my friend.
Yeah, yeah, right.
5 ribs, man. Jeez,
It's crazy,
all on the
dude.
same side too.
That is great. Oh God. I've never broken a rib. I've had a bruised rib before, and that was very
I've
painful.
only had a hairline
Very
fracture
painful.
break, never a full break. So I mean,
Right.
but and I know how painful that was. So I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Ooh, man, later today I might have to go and help him pick him up from the hospital, help him out.
Dang, dude. Oh, so
Well,
he's
well,
he's like already going home, huh?
he they said that there's nothing. I mean, it's ribs. There's nothing you could do. It, a rib injury once it's placed, if it's like put back together, if it's a fracture, what however, once it's back in place, it's just wrapping it and just waiting for it to heal. There's really nothing
Just
you can do.
just set you just need to set it and then just let
Yep.
it. Yeah,
You
right.
wrap it and wait, and try
Oh
and endure the
God.
pain. Uh,
Oh. That is
but yeah,
brutal. That is
yeah.
brutal.
I've only had one fractured rib before in my life, and it was painful. So I can't imagine 5.
Yeah. I got jumped one time when I
Mm.
was younger, and God, I got like kicked in the ribs and had a pretty good bruise, and God, just breathing in was like, oh man, just like taking a breath in hurt. So I can
Yeah,
only
that's how I
imagine.
felt with the fracture. So yeah, like when he called me to tell me that he got hurt, he's like, I didn't recognize his voice. He sounded like it's like I thought that he was like mutilated, but it was like,
Oh God. That's rough, dude. Don't mean to laugh, but oh God dang, that is brutal. That sucks. Well, when you're done playing Nurse Betty, come over and we can hang out. It's good you're
absolutely,
doing that.
yeah. But
As everyone comes in, please retweet up the space. Look at Big Boy showing off his fucking stacker. Wow, Big
was that
Boy.
today? Is that today's big boy? You buy it today?
No, yesterday. I think he got
Yesterday.
it
That's right.
yesterday. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
yesterday. That's what by today I meant the last 24 hours.
Look at him showing it off. Wow,
That's a
dude.
nice one too.
That
I like
is
that.
good for you, Big Boy. I'm super jealous, bro, but good for you. Good for you. I'm so stupid. Why didn't I buy a fucking stacker last year
Mm,
when they were like 10 sol? What's wrong with me?
I don't know. I did.
What the hell is wrong with me? I didn't even, it never even really occurred to me. Why I'm just gonna keep buying Giraffe. I should have bought less Giraffe and bought a stacker.
Well, like same thing. It's like I knew that I could have been buying more draft, but I'm like, and I had a stacker. I'm like, you know what? If nothing else, this is going to be a good bet because then I could charge Joe like $1 million for this later. It's gonna be great.
Yep, yep, and I'd pay it.
Hmm.
Good to see you, Rick. I was actually looking at so the very first space that I ever did, I like I took snapshots of everyone who was in there
Hmm.
because my whole so I was like, I have a gift for everyone who's in here staying all night. And what my gift was gonna be is I was gonna tell everyone about like how to get lined up with Gary. And at the time they were so cheap too, I was just gonna like drop everyone a Giraffe. And like there were probably like some like 15, 20 people who kind of like hung with me. And so like the thing was like My whole thing was if you hung with me on that first night and like stayed with me through because I like played a poker game. It was really crazy. Played a poker game. People like kind of stayed in the space with me. And then what I was gonna do was on like day 100, like from that day, if you were like still a part of the community, I would, give me your address and I'll shoot you a giraffe. And again, this was at a time when giraffe were, half a Solana type deal, so, and then I just figured a lot of people would have probably fallen off and, instead of there being 15, 20, there'd be, 5, 6, 7, something like that. Anyway, I was looking at that picture today and I saw Rick was in there. I was like, holy shit, Rick was there that very first day. Wow. Wow. So Rick, you almost got a free giraffe from me, dude. Almost. Very, very close. Just things didn't work out that way.
We can't
But
look back on the things that we missed and
yeah.
look forward to the opportunities ahead of us, because there's a shitload of opportunities ahead of us, man.
How dude, God, I just can't believe seeing us number one, man. How crazy is that?
Oh yeah, and we got to do, which one was it? Not that one. Maui Nancy's giveaway. We got to pin that.
Oh yeah. Oh
We
yeah.
got
And that's the other thing too. I forgot. Long Neck Larry and Bearded Bongman are doing a space tonight at
Oh yeah,
yeah, they're gonna do they're gonna do a Sunday space every week
nice.
now. Yeah, so tonight's gonna be their first one. So I want to post that up top so people know about that. I think he sent that to me yesterday. Let me get that up here.
Look at this. One draft, 1,000 Gary coin into room. Maui Nancy's awesome giveaway or raffle. More correct.
A lot happening in this community, man.
Hmm.
There's a couple. Let me see. There's a couple other giveaways happening too, right? Isn't Danny doing one?
Is Danny doing one? I know he mentioned it. I don't know if he started it. I'll check.
I think he's doing one. I think so.
Let's check the Danny's profile.
Oh yeah, here it is. Connoisseur's Corner. There you go.
You
Okay, so
that
there.
Danny's you saw?
No, no. This is Bearded Bongman Space tonight. It's called Connoisseur's Corner. I think what he means by connoisseur is connoisseur of the devil's lettuce, of the demon weed. He's a connoisseur of the demon weed. But there we go. I just pinned it up top.
It looks like Rick is doing a giveaway. I'll pin that too.
Yep, Rick, we got you, man. We got you.
Give that sucker a real quick retweet. Getting all these fun giveaways. There's a lot of fun stuff going on right now too. Huh. I hadn't even gotten. Oh,
And he's gonna pick a week on 420. Never
okay,
understood why these marijuana fans like Hitler's birthday so much, but
I know it's crazy.
very strange. Very strange. Kind of weird, but
Hey, you do
that's
you guys. Hmm.
sort of weird. They like to celebrate Hitler's birthday every year, but not really my thing, but that's cool. I guess everyone has their own thing. Uh never really made sense to me, but okay. So, they'll be doing that on 420, guys.
There you
Let's
go.
see.
Yeah, lot of giveaways going on, guys.
Lot
Oh
of
yeah, it's
giveaways.
4. In 7 days it will be 20. I didn't even realize the math. Wait, is does that mean that Easter is on 420 this year?
Oh, I guess it does, huh? Yeah. Oh man. Hey, what's up, Chris?
What's going on, Joe? What's going on, Doug? Happy Sunday.
Happening.
Just wanted to
Happy
throw in a
son.
little different energy. I was curious, Joe. I know you like to travel and you're a connoisseur of the blockchain. Have you been following Blockchain Week? I try to get into it
Uh,
a little. Like I thought I don't know. I guess it's just not for me. But curious if something came out of there that I just didn't pick up
yeah.
on.
So a lot of the ones that, so I never would really do the like blockchain week stuff. The ones that I would go to would be like more of the regional. Like I never liked those big ones like that. I just felt like they were kind of boring.
Chris trying to
And
sell stuff to you that you don't need.
yeah, yeah, like
It's literally a trade show.
it becomes a trade show. Yeah, it becomes a trade show, and then like all of the people, like the quote unquote keynote speakers, I feel like they all kind of say the same thing. They're all
Chris,
kind of
I'll point it this way. One of the keynote speakers that was supposed to be there at NFTLA 2021 or sorry 2021, the one that you Joe went to was supposed to be Fanzo and he backed out at the last minute. These are the types of people that they get to speak as their keynote speakers. Just keep
Yeah,
that in
right,
mind.
right,
I
right.
think he was
So
going to talk about the future of rugs.
I
yeah,
love it. How funny.
so just keep that in mind. That these are the people that they bring onto their
So the
stage.
ones I go to, the ones I like to go to and like go travel for are more like they're more like smaller ones. So they're, it'll be like NFC Milan, NFT Valencia, um, Seoul, whatever.
There's a little difference
Pick
between
pick a s-
Valencia and Milan, though.
well, no, I mean I'm just saying, a
I
small
know.
city, pick a small city in, whatever country. And there's normally something like, maybe 200 people there. It's really small, and the crowd that goes is, you'll find some really, really small devs in there. That's normally what I'm trying to find, actually, is like like someone who's got some really cool new tech. Like when I went to the one in Romania last year, I couldn't go this year just because of the time. They did it too early in the year this year. They did it just this last month. And it was just not going to work with my calendar. But like when I was in Romania last year, I met this guy who was working on an app called Pigly, Pigli, I think, .io. I'll have to make sure that's the right. I'll have to look it up, but it was a reward system, and it was still only in the EU. And basically, if you were like a holder of that coin, I think it was a coin or maybe it was an NFT. Yeah, it was an NFT. That's right. It was an NFT. So if you were a holder of the NFT and you like went in and shopped, say you'd shop at a store, like a department store that was part of the program, you would get like 20% back of all the money you spent there. And you would get it back in the native coin. And it was, just kind of set up like that for all these different restaurants, all these different department stores. And think of it like if you use a certain kind of credit card, and that credit card has a rewards program worked out with different businesses. But in this case, rather than that, it's a rewards program, and it benefits both the user and the vendor, because like the vendor would end up getting a getting a benefit for selling to holders. And he had really worked out this very big like win-win situation for everyone, and even made it in a way to where, hey, if you bring your friends involved, you get like 2x points. If a vendor signs another vendor up, they would get like 2x their points. And he had really thought it through. It was a great little program. And just meeting guys like him is always what I was trying to find, is stuff where someone thinks of some really cool program, really cool tech that you wouldn't otherwise figure out. Like where are you going to hear about this Romanian develop, you know what I mean? Come on, you'd have to. The only place you're going to find out about it is there. So
Uh,
I always liked those ones.
That sounds
Um,
cool, man. And
yeah.
well, and, yeah, I know other people are joining the stage, so I'll just throw out a couple thoughts real quick. It'd be interesting to see what happens because I think a lot of those concepts are great, and then they kind of go away. And to that point, I think in
Yeah.
one of your
Yeah.
first shill spaces, I forget the name of the guy, but he basically was talking about ways to get some funds back from like your rugged NFTs. So definitely I need to do a better job of following him and see if that comes through. But since you're into, I know you love hearing people's stories. There
Oh, I
were,
do.
I want to say, 3 or 4 Giraffe. It was probably TC, Nona, Gino, and Markovic that were at Solana Breakpoint, and that probably was a little before your time in the community. So
Sure.
definitely hit TC up because it was weird. Like they went, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna hear about all the stuff that happened at Solana Breakpoint," and either nothing happened or just it's like stuff where Gino would be like, "Hey, we hung out with Giraffe," right? Like it's gonna be something where like he's not gonna drop any alpha, but TC might give you a little more insight. But I thought it was cool. I think the big thing for the community that came out of there, and Dunk can probably give you, and even JJ can give you some more insight on this. There's, I guess I'll call him a whale in the community named Edwin, and Edwin's in Singapore, and Breakpoint I believe was in Singapore, and I believe TC and Nona met Edwin. So that was the big thing. The Edwin's real,
uh,
and but
okay.
basically like you just saw them like in front. They had like a
Right. Right.
cappuccino, right? So it wasn't just like we found Edwin, and
Right. Right.
Edwin's like
Yeah.
a it was kind of strange, or like I said, maybe they just didn't want to post about it. But I thought I'd give you that insight. So next time you're talking to TC and you want to get a little more insight, maybe that might be a good thread to try to unwind.
Yeah. Will do. Will do. Thanks for that. Her and I have spoke about some of those conventions in Europe for sure. So, but I'll definitely talk to her about that. Definitely. Do you ever go to anything like that? Do you ever
No,
hit any
like
of those?
for the reasons you kind of mentioned, like I'm in Massachusetts, so they do the Bitcoin convention and you can stream it,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it's just so technical. There's not even like good technical.
It's not
It's
even. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's like dumb technical. I'm like, you get all
Yeah.
these really smart people together, and they're like, how can we bore the fuck out of
Yes.
whatever
Yes.
audience decided to
Yes.
stream this? And I'm just like so I'm sure it serves a purpose, but I think in terms of marketing and mass adoption, that's not it, right? So I think for
Right.
me, I'm like, I don't mind hearing something technical, but I'm not going to listen to 4 hours of technical analysis about Bitcoin that literally has nothing to do with anything I can
With anything
comprehend.
I'm into. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
you
And
know.
like so again, that's kind of how I landed at going to these smaller ones, and then what I really like I like the guess like the networking aspect of it. The I'll definitely go in and go listen to some of the because a lot of times the way it's done at the smaller ones, they'll have like four different stages going at any given time. So, you'll have one stage where there's a guy talking about Bitcoin, another stage where someone's talking about mass adoption, another one security, and another one there's always like some like ETH maxi, who's just like, Ethereum is gonna like, solve cancer and stuff. And you're like, okay, cool. So you can kind of pick between all those. And again, they're going for like 30 minutes to an hour. So there's a lot of turnover. And you do end up getting some good nuggets. You really do. If you sat there all day, you're probably going to be pretty disappointed. But if you look at the different schedules, you can pick two or three and find some good little nuggets in there.
Yeah, I think
Um, I really
Or
maybe
the
like the
parties
networking
afterwards. There's
aspect,
always the parties.
and the
yeah.
parties are great. The
Yeah.
parties are always great. Yeah.
The parties seem all right. What I've seen though is a lot of BAC parties and very dude heavy. But that's the
They'll
space one.
be
You know.
they'll be like
Mhm.
so. Yes, so there'll be like different communities that will kind of set up parties around. So when you're in like Budapest, there'll be BAYC will set up a little BAYC party. and Giraffe would set up a giraffe party. But like the actual party for the convention is normally pretty good and pretty fun. I've actually never gone to any of the other, like, again, there's a lot of stuff that people do just kind of in parallel to it. I've never gone to any of those little networking things or parties or anything. So I can't speak to that, but a lot of the parties that I have gone to there, the networking spaces, they'll be like, hey, go to this restaurant at whatever time, and there'll be 30, 40 people there, and you get to meet some people working on stuff, and like that's how I met that Piggly guy, and um and those have always that's really what I'm looking for, is when I go to those things, are those little networking things.
Well, I'm in another community called Entra, which is for entrepreneurs, and they do some New York stuff. And there's a couple Boston guys that are investors in the platform. So I just don't want to like I don't travel. So if I'm going through New York, I want to follow someone through the city instead of just getting lost by myself in
Right.
the city. So if I can
Yeah.
follow them in, I might go. But even then, I think it'll be low, pretty low return. But if we're 3 or 4 years down the road, I can see Gary, hosting an IRL event that in Austin, and the guy that actually founded Entra, Gary knows, his name is Michael Mara, and they're both in Austin. I just don't think they have a reason to organically connect, but I've been trying to, lay out the breadcrumbs and see
Yeah.
if they can,
Yeah.
bump into each other. But it'll probably take a while. But my assumption is Giraffe will just do it right. That at some point, because I think you're going to want something that attracts the masses. Like, if I was traveling to Austin, I'd have to bring my family, and I'd like my family to be able to do something that wouldn't, just dull their minds,
Right.
and have some
Right.
fun while, I network, right? But I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I just think they get it wrong. I don't think they look at it from an audience perspective, and they get
Very
numbers,
true. Yeah.
but
Right.
I think they could really get a lot
Do a
more
lot better.
audience. They could
Yeah.
stream, they can get all that stuff, if they just think about not
Not
just
making
who
it mind numbing.
well
Mind numbing.
it's
Yeah.
basically, well, here's your audience, who else should be here,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I totally hear you. But then again too, I also just like the traveling aspect. So that's also just another thing for me. I enjoy it's a reason for me to go to Europe, and then I get to go um, do a little history geek out. So, it checks a few boxes for me. What's up, Valerie? How you doing?
Hey guys, how's your weekend going?
If it was any better, it'd be a crime.
Awesome. I am just working. I put my giraffe on. You see? My giraffe.
Oh, you did? Let's see. Maybe it just hasn't. Oh, nice. Very nice. Look at that. It just now updated for me. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Everybody, look at Valerie's new PFP. That is my brother right there. For some reason, Valerie and I switched genders, but don't ask questions. It's 2025. Very good, Valerie. Very, very good. We're in the same family there. Same background, same fur, same mane. Yeah,
Twinsies.
I know, really. Twinsies. I love it. That is one good looking giraffe right there. Seeing everything in 3D, of course. You know what? I saw another person with with like that background. He came in maybe 2 days ago or some someone who doesn't really come in too often, but I think we're starting to get that background pretty popular.
It's
Oh,
good
I'm
for the
looking.
season too, rolling into spring and summer.
Yeah, it fits, right?
I'm noticing those glasses, in all honesty. That's what I noticed. Those 3D glasses are sick.
When I reduced down to one giraffe, it was between this one and my third eye pink fur, and I chose this guy.
Also a good
Yeah.
trait. Third eye.
Yeah, and it was a pink fur one. But it went
Mm-hmm.
to a
Pink
community
furs are more
member,
rare too.
so that makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
Dunk, explain something to me, or maybe JJ can, because I'm looking at the update right here where it says giraffes had 3 buys and 7 sells. Help me out there.
A buy is when somebody buys, actually goes and buys something that's listed. A sell is when somebody accepts an
Oh,
offer.
I see. Okay, understood. Okay,
So
never
there's the
got it.
difference.
Got it.
Buy
Yeah.
that
Okay,
that's
I
when
got
you
it.
look
I
at
got it.
the
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
activity. Well, for everybody else, when you look at the activity and it says buys and sells, that's the difference.
Okay.
So if it says buy, it means somebody bought something that was listed. If it says sell, it means somebody sold to an offer. So,
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
but that means 5 sales technically.
It's very good. Very, very good. Yeah, just looking at that. What a great little update there. That is just such a nice picture. Seeing us there at number one. And then there was the one too where we were like, what, number 11 and 12 or 12 and 13 or something. I think that was on Magic Eden.
And that's before the utility fully comes out at all. Like it's just being tested right
It's
now.
fucking fantastic, man. I know.
The second that thing goes live, the floor is going to go up high.
Yeah, I think so. I really think so. I don't see why it wouldn't. So now we've got Adam and Big Boy. We've got 2 stackers in here. Look at that, man. Jeez. Well, thanks for helping me out early on, Dunk. Letting me know to grab one. It's a real, real good friend. Real good friend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I tried to tell you. I mean, but probably at that point, Gary was like, "Hey, you should talk to this person that lives close to you," and I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
sounds
I
like a
had to
scammer
reach
to
out to
me."
you, by the way. And I know Gary had even told me, he's like, oh, I told Dunk to reach out to you.
I
And you didn't. I
I
had to
I
reach out
thought
to you. So
I don't remember.
yeah, wow, thanks. And I remember you were all skeptical too at first. Yeah, just so let's just put all this out here so everyone knows. When I first called Dunk too, by the way, he was like super, super skeptical of me. He was for real. He was just like, and me, like I'm like, open book Joe. Come on over, man. Come on, let's hang out. And he's like, yeah, well, if you want to reach out, go ahead and shoot me a text or something. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess he doesn't want to come over then. Never mind.
I, you're not the first person in the county that I've met in real life, like in the community. Let me just put it that way.
Sure, sure.
And they've never gone well.
Yeah.
It's usually somebody that's an
I,
opportunist.
I remember like
Just
being all super let down too after like the first time we spoke and just being like, God, what did I like? Huh. All right.
oh
Well,
really?
yeah, totally, dude. Yes, of course. Because I was like, I think he thought I was like trying to scam him or something like that. That's how that call ended. I was like, I think he like thought I was trying to like scam him or something. That was weird.
I've always got my guard up.
Yeah, you
Just
well,
with
you
that.
definitely had it up the first time I called you. Yeah. Then you like loosened up a little bit by little bit. So yeah, we got there. We got there.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's saved me from a lot of bad situations. My guard up.
But you may have blocked your blessings too, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
may have blocked a blessing there.
yeah. I don't think that I was trying to shove you off. I was trying to figure things out first.
We all have to have a level of caution here.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
yeah,
Just
true.
because he has that buttery voice doesn't mean that I just got to jump in.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh, you
Now
guys, get a
I've always
room, like not a public space on.
I've always said I should be more have more of a guard up because I'm one of those people who will I'll trust you right off the bat, which is not the best policy probably. But like I'm the type where I'll trust somebody until they've given me a reason why not to, I should probably flip that on its head. And
I'm at that area right now. Like, I'm like, okay, maybe I should just like not just give so willingly up front.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know what? It's I
Well,
prefer my way as opposed to being jaded. So
well, and in all, like, honestly, like, I this isn't the first time that I've like partnered with somebody to do audio spaces, like even in Gary Club. And what has happened in the past, and I could say you're the first person that's not like this out of them, that their whole goal is not to better the project.
right,
It
right,
was never, it was to siphon off an audience that was built, and they wanted that
right, right.
audience.
Yeah,
They saw being involved so they could pitch their own thing.
yeah, right.
And here's the thing, we all have our own businesses. I sell my own stuff, Joe sells his own stuff, we all sell our own stuff. But the point of these spaces is to
Brother, I
grow
I found
our
out
assets and
yesterday. I
communities.
like talked to someone in here yesterday and like found out they didn't even know they didn't even know like I do fucking podcast. So, if I'm gonna
Hmm.
start siphoning, I need to start doing a better job. I'm gonna have to start doing a
Yeah.
better job of siphoning people
I
off because
didn't
I
know. Now I know.
Hmm. And that's how, well, that's the thing. We could talk about those things just fine. It almost became like a sales pitch for their personal thing, was what it was.
What is your podcast about, Joe?
Oh, he might be rugging.
Oh yeah, he might be.
Sounds like he's rugging. That means the whole space
Oh
is going to go
no, we're
down.
on unstable ground.
Hey, Dunk, you want to give the insight into the podcast till Joe comes back?
Sure. I mean, it's a podcast with Joe and Owen, and it's not a crypto podcast. It's literally just conversations and getting to know them and just their stories and just hanging out. It's a personal. I'd say it's a personal brand podcast versus any kind of niche would be the best way to describe it. So if you enjoy hanging out with Joe and hearing good conversations, and they don't always have to be about crypto, you enjoy these conversations. And if you don't know Owen yet, he's great. His dynamic between Owen and Joe is really, really good. And I'm there just, lurking in the shadows just to
he
be a
comes in just
smartass
to throw us
when
off. Yeah, he
needed.
just tries to like we'll
Yeah.
be talking about something and then we'll be talking about baseball or something, right? And then Dunk will come in and be like,
I'm like, well, but what
yeah,
about
right,
tennis?
exactly, just to derail the conversation and ruin the flow, which he
Hmm.
excels at, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, I'm
pretty
really
good.
good at it.
And then, but then his second part is like, we started calling him because like the Joe Rogan show, they have that guy Jamie who like brings stuff up, like fact checks and stuff. So we started calling him Dunk Jamie because he would like, I would talk about something and then he would like pull it up. So he's our Jamie since I don't know how to
Hmm.
use Chat GPT.
I just typed in words and I hit the little thing and said search, and it gave me the
Yeah,
answer.
I'm still not at that level of sophistication yet.
I mean, it did really have to make me do it the harder way, because typically I don't even bother to type things into ChatGPT anymore. I am like the laziest one. I'll just say, "Hey, ChatGPT, I need this, 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 and this. Do it," and it just does it, and it's done. I don't even have to use my fingers anymore.
Yeah, you were saying, is Chat GPT the one you were saying you were talking with?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. You have to have, I think, to have that version, you need to
Yeah, you
have
have to
like the
have the
$20
paid.
version a
Yeah,
month.
right.
It does have a chat feature with the free one, but I think it's the old chat bot that
Hmm.
they had that used to be only available with the free one. But like with that one, that's gonna, it makes me think. so, so you go to like sci-fi, right? And you go to like things like Star Trek where they have the computer talking, right? And it sounds like a
Right.
computer talking like
Right.
this,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's the future, right? That's the
Now
future.
when we hear
And
that,
you're
we're
like,
like, God, that
now
sucks.
we're
Yeah.
in the we're in the past, and like you're talking to a computer, and it just talks like, it sounds more like her, where it's like a, a a real person that you're just having a
Right. Right.
conversation with. So it's like, I feel like Star Trek might be a little
Yeah.
dated
Right.
now. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
You know, I will say, as a science geek, Star Trek did get a lot of things right, though. They really
Or
did. Yeah.
inspired people to
Yeah.
figure it out.
Really did. Like when they're like, well, we'll drop the tri-cobalt nuclear bomb. It's actually good physics right there. A cobalt bomb would be the strongest nuclear weapon possible. So it's good physics. Checks out. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you I was in the
Oh,
2009
were you
movie?
really?
Yeah.
What? Because you like
Yeah.
didn't get out of the shot or something? What happened?
No,
Or you were
I was
cast?
in it.
Oh,
I
okay.
played I played a cadet. Um yeah, I played a cadet in the 2009 movie. My character didn't
Okay.
survive. Let me
Yeah,
just put it
things
that way.
ended badly.
Um yeah, there was this big scene there shooting at Northridge University and the giant laser coming down from the sky to yeah, I was there and my character
You
didn't
were
make
the
it.
one catching the laser. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. I was wearing a red shirt if you know what that means in Star
Yes.
Trek.
Yeah, not good. Not good.
Yeah, that was sad. I didn't make it. Did not make it. But no, but it was fun. Got to meet Leonard Nimoy and all them fun
Oh yeah.
people.
That's
Zachary
pretty cool,
Quinto.
man. That's neat. Neat. Very cool.
I remember.
What'd you make, like $60
I,
and a meal?
I,
Yeah. I love like when you
I think I made a little more than that, but yeah, it's definitely they definitely
yeah,
know how to take advantage of
and it's like
people
a
in this
12-hour
industry.
shoot and you make like yeah, $100 and you get what?
You should be
Yeah, exactly. You
thankful.
should be thankful we're feeding you. Yeah.
If, like I literally had to be sewed into my costume every day. You should be
God
thankful.
dang. I always love when you like
Like
drive
no
by the
joke, they
studios and you see those long lines of people who, come out from, come out from like Pennsylvania, Nebraska to, like, oh yeah, we're gonna get cast in this thing. And then, then the dream, like the reality sinks in that they're gonna be like
and
standing for 18 hours.
they're one of the
Yeah,
kids
right.
sitting in a classroom during a
Right.
high school scene while other people have like cool. I'm sitting in that classroom.
There's people who do that though for a
I was
living. You know that, right? That just go, yeah, that just
yeah.
go.
There you mean there
Well, there
were.
were, yeah, yeah, there were, yeah,
Like the
yeah,
way
there
things
were.
are
There
going,
used to be.
it's not gonna
I
it's not gonna be that way for too much
I
longer if you ask me.
remember
Like I
meeting a
feel like
girl when I first moved to LA. I think she was from Germany or Sweden or something, and that was like her whole. She would just pretty much show up at Central Casting every day and get, yep, and
background
just
actor.
make. Why don't you make $150 and yeah,
It beats
yeah,
serving
exactly.
tables.
Make $150 a day, and again, you get lunch. You get a little craft service lunch,
Yep.
and but but those are long days too, man. You
Oh yeah,
12,
12 plus
15 hour
hours.
day for 150, $180.
They basically put it at
Yeah,
minimum
right.
wage, if
Yeah.
anybody's wondering, and it equates down to whatever the minimum amount that they could pay, unless they're
Oh well,
union.
they don't use union people for that though. Yeah, right.
There's a
They have to use a
minimum
certain
amount of you
right.
like it's a
Yeah.
small amount, and they'll like bring those people, and then the way that people actually get into the union, they need certain amount of
Mm-hmm.
vouchers. So they have to depend on, say they need 20 union members on set. If only 15 get
Then you can get a
booked, then
voucher.
now that
Yes.
means that five non-union
Yeah.
members get vouchers, and you need to collect enough to apply to
And
join
that's
the
a
union to
grind.
hope
That's
that
a
you're going to
grind. People who try to do that, it's a
yeah,
grind. I know people. Yeah.
and it's because they want to secure that one of those guaranteed
Yeah.
20 spots or whatever
Yeah.
on yeah. And that yeah, it's not by when I say 20 spots, I'm talking about like a cattle call
So,
almost.
so in a way, that's actually sort of why I live in LA because my brother. So I kind of followed my brother down. My brother came down after he like graduated from Santa Cruz. He lived in Pismo for a few years and then came down here to do like stand up comedy and try to do that. And he was like hustling his vouchers, and so I think he got like he was on like the Jim Belushi show and some of those other like stuff like that. Um, just trying to hustle his vouchers. But then I moved down obviously because of him. So in a very real way, my brother trying to hustle SAG vouchers is why I live down here now.
Like people were pissed off at me because I didn't care. I just cared about the higher rate that day.
Right.
because I was just doing it for some extra money. Well, I was working in the industry, trying to get work behind the camera, and I'm like, sure, cool, whatever, you know. Had no interest in joining the unions. And people that were trying to hustle, I just was nice to the ads. Hey, you know, if you do happen to have any, just I know that they're, you know, it's not up to you, but if just could you think about me, just be nice to them, you know,
Yeah. Right.
have conversations, treat people like humans. Crazy thing. And then he just kept, I just wanted the better rate for the day.
Right.
And
Right.
I I was being given those vouchers right and left when I was doing the like background work for that. And people, I'm like, I have no interest in paying the union fees. I just want, like, I'm getting all the days anyways. I'm getting the rate anyways because they keep on giving me the
And
union
people,
waivers.
and if people only knew how much people like kill themselves for those, I mean,
Yeah, and they were just
yeah,
giving them to me, and I never even joined the union. It was
I
great,
love it. That's
and people were
hilarious.
pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
I was like, just go talk to them,
People
be nice to
kill
them.
themselves to get those, man. Kill themselves. Yeah.
I think I mean, I don't know if it was still, if they're still valid. I probably could just go
You
join
could
that
probably go
union right
join.
now.
No, you probably could. Yeah. You probably could.
Hmm.
That'd be
But
funny. Yeah. We're now,
that's
cut to a year from now, like everyone's going to see Dunk on the silver screen. It all
oh
started from this
god.
conversation. Dunk and Chris.
Hey,
We'll have two famous people in our community.
hey, one thing I wanted to mention, and it's a tie-in in a couple ways, but some people in the community probably know Bobby Del Rio. He's a big Canadian personality. He's had Gary on his open source. I guess you'd call it like it's like a Canadian news
Yeah.
show, but
Yeah. I've
you can
seen
like
him.
stream it.
Yeah. I've seen him on
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
So he just did a really good episode about AI impacting the film industry, right? And this guy that he was interviewing, I think he's the former SAG president in LA. So Dunk, like you might know this guy. I don't want to say his name because I can't remember it, but
Hmm.
I usually stream off of LinkedIn. But the reason I mention that is, with AI, like, because I'm in Massachusetts and, I picked up enough vouchers because, there was a time where just, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and, everyone else that had a Boston, Massachusetts kind of tie-in would do productions here because of the tax credit. So
Right.
not only did that dry up, but when you start thinking about AI, I mean, like literally, like you don't need real people to be background because that's the whole purpose, your background, right? And in fact, if you're programming in the background, you're going to get what you want, right? You're not going to get somebody like trying to overact the scene because it's their moment, Um,
Right. Right.
but that being said, it kind of sucks for people, right? And tech companies, right? So they're not doing, they're not cutting people out to make the product better. They're cutting people out to make more money. So I thought that was interesting. But if you follow Bobby, you'll be able to hear a couple podcasts with Gary. But really interesting AI element. But the real reason I bring that up is, being a giraffe crown, slowly but surely, I'm working on my, giraffe crown themed AI. I guess we would call it. I don't know if it'd be a video podcast or something, but pretty much I want to play off of the crown characters because somehow crowns are incredibly popular across collections. So I think it would be great to develop the giraffe character and trait in some type of AI format
Neat.
across that. So I every once in a while you'll see me do hashtag crowns rule,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm trying to think of some type of, you know, some type of story that kind of highlights giraffe, centered around, the crown trait. So, I think it'll take me a while. I'm sure I'm going to, plug into Dunk, for some creative inspiration. But I think everybody can just look at,
Do a little
those
giraffe Game of
traits.
Crowns.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I mean, JJ mentioned that other story the other day about, the bucket hats, like, so every trait kind of has their stories. I just know that, you know, I, I've got, 11 giraffe plus a stacker and, the crown just resonates with me the most. But I guess where I'll land with is, you just never know where these things are going to go. Like I bought a stacker 2 years ago, and it was for totally different purposes
Hmm.
than you have now. So I think whether it's MAGA, whether it's golden ticket, whether wherever you buy into the community, just know that eventually there'll be an opportunity, or you can create your own opportunity. I think Gary will sometimes highlight things that people like will overlook, but
Yeah.
there's nothing to stop you from doing whatever you want with that trait. Like even with Vibin, like I don't own a Vibin, I don't travel a lot, so it's less attractive for me. But until there's a different Giraffe Vibin utility, like Vibins can still get together to do whatever they want to do. So I think it's just thinking, hey, how do you take your segment of the community and highlight that in a way that's meaningful to you? Because that will give you some type of purpose,
You know what would be kind of cool too is like what you just got me thinking of is, you're saying like doing something for like the crowns where you have like some kind of backstory and lore around that. You know, for you could take
Straight up
you could take
story.
something like for the halos or for the cucumber eyes or the 3D glasses or something. Like each one of them could have their own little story behind it, about how my giraffe went blind and found cucumber eyes. I don't know. I'm just saying there could be all kinds of different little spin-offs as a result of that, to where you're making like a whole series of content around giraffes and how you're just playing off all the different like major traits, or maybe not even like major traits, like more the rare traits, like OGs and crowns and stuff, but or certain backgrounds that are maybe a little bit more rare, like how that happened. It would
Hey,
definitely need to
hey,
be someone more creative than me, but it's a good idea.
I was I was gonna jump in right quick. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm at actually a baseball game right quick, but we actually had something like that called the Towers. When we were in Discord, there were a bunch of like different channels and rooms that were um, like gated based on the trait. So like we had an
Oh,
OG chat, we had a Crown chat, we had there were some people doing things with the third eye, there was a herd. So if you have five or more, you were in the herd. If you had 25 or more, at the time we were calling them well. I don't know if we ever switched names for them, but we had a bunch of towers. We at one point we even did one geographically. Like Gino headed up the one over the Netherlands, and they would do like meetups like for sushi regularly, like almost like a close to like a dozen or so a giraffe like regularly. TC was part of that crowd if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it was there, and it's definitely decentralized that we can make it something again. But I think a lot of communities do that. They lean into different traits for different reasons. Like this trait may for like the gas mask. Like when we were DJing out, like doing war room raids and just calling different trades and stuff like that. Like you needed a gas mask to be part of that channel and so on and so forth.
totally, totally. Yes.
Yeah, and one thing I'll mention too, to play off of what JJ was saying is, and JJ or Dunk might remember the name of this, but then if you had one of each trait, there was a special tower for one of each trait, and then just to, the furs became
Oh
a
yeah,
big thing, and the alien
I don't
furs and Donald, right? Yeah, do you remember what the tower was called for one of
I
each?
thought for some reason one.
I don't
Go
remember.
ahead.
I just know that I was in it. Like there was a different there was one role that if you had every trait. I know that, right?
I think so. It's super hard because I
Yeah,
think it
yeah,
included OG, right?
yeah. No, there was definitely well, I don't remember what it was. For some reason, I thought 1%, but no, that had to do with quality.
No, that was
Yeah,
later.
and that was quality. I forget what the tower was for that one, but yeah, I was in that tower. I had like one of every trait that was counted for that. But I forget the name.
For the collector. I honestly like having one of each trade is one of the things that makes me go like, should I sell this? I wouldn't have that trade anymore.
Yeah, so there's just a lot of background, I guess, to what you were saying, Joe. So I think even if people are thinking of, hey, these backstories, kind of like, Stacker, like I don't play off of it that much, but I think technically each Stacker
People need to
has a
build on it.
story, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You said what?
People need to build on the
Well,
story.
that's what I'm saying. So,
That's the
but
thing.
it's, sometimes the hardest part is getting started. So I'm saying like there's already, you know, a foundation there, right? And you could change it up because I don't know what
Hmm.
the starter story is for crowns. But you know, at the end of the day, I think you can create your own, right? And then people can add on to it and basically just like this tower conversation, right? Because I think it's funny that we don't remember the name of the tower, but I knew it was there. And sometimes things switch up. I think like with the gas mask and the degen play, I think some people tried really hard and then they got the gas mask and then technically it went away. But it's just I think you could always revive it, right? I think you could always say, hey, if this is something people really want to do, you can almost kind of reignite, you know, that trait aspect, or if there's a better word to use there.
Right, right. Um, Real quick, I just
Oh,
wanted to point something out here. One of my old friends is in here. What's up, Crypto Storm? How you doing, brother? It's a good man right there. He is he's
Welcome, Crypto Storm.
really, really good at making like AI music. So Crypto Storm, hang around, man. Get involved with the giraffes. Plenty of content for you to make. Great,
can he
great
play us out
music.
today?
Well, I mean, if he wants to, of course. Yeah. I don't know. I think this is probably his first time, maybe second time in here. I know Bearded, right? Didn't you just make a song? Or you're working on a song? He sent me something.
I used AI to make the music for that music video that I'm
I
slowly
like
working
that.
on.
That was a good, there's one where
I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish that music video. I just got busy
there
the last
was
couple
one
days
where
because of
someone
life.
what is it called? Suno or something? Sumo or something?
Suno.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I use. Suno.
Where someone made a pretty cool Suno song like last week. Um it was
Hmm.
like one for this, two for that, three for that. I liked it a lot. It was good. I liked the music to
What
it.
I
I liked the
found,
background music.
if I start in ChatGPT first if it's with lyrics, and I work on the lyrics first, and then I give it the lyrics, I say, hey, here's the
Oh,
chorus,
so
here's
you
the
have to write
verse,
the
here's
words?
those parts.
I thought it did it for you.
No, you don't. You can have you could have it do it
Oh, okay,
automatically.
okay,
That's my point. Or you can give it lyrics. I have ChatGPT write
okay.
me the lyrics, and then I drop it in and then say follow these lyrics, and here's the verse, here's the chorus, or you could just have it be random and tell what you want it to be about. But I found that if I tell it this is
Uh huh.
this is the chorus, this is this part of the song, because you know how music theory, they're
Of course,
structured
yeah,
to
sure, yeah.
songs. So if I actually give it a little bit of that instruction, I found that the song just it actually is formatted how a song should be with the chorus, and otherwise sometimes it like the chorus isn't the same each time if I don't tell
Uh
it
huh,
this
uh
is the
huh.
chorus, and this is a verse, this is verse 1, verse 2, verse 3, and then I just paste that in and I say this is the chorus, verse 1, the different verses, use that to create the
Interesting.
song.
Okay.
Or you can just have it do it automatically and you say here's the style, like I want to the next thing that I'm gonna do, I want to make some 8-bit music because I like 8-bit music, and if you don't know what that is, you're missing out. Um, and I'm gonna do that, and that's probably gonna be the next music video thing that I work on too. So I'm gonna have it write the words in ChatGPT, and then I'm gonna have tell it that it needs to be an 8-bit song, in a style of
So have you
whatever I'm
noticed
making
how
it in.
there's like
So
all these YouTube? I'm noticing this a lot too now, where there's like again most of my before I started doing podcast in or not podcast spaces. I mean, which again, this like the beginning of that is like 3 or 4 months ago. So it's not very long. Again, like going back to where I met Crypto Storm, like just in the Link community. Before that, most of my time online was always just spent kind of like watching, like history YouTube videos and just kind of geeking out on stuff like that. Now I've noticed they're like even for just like history videos, they're all like AI now. And I got to tell you, like, I don't
oh yeah,
there's something I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know what it is because it's not that. Look, I obviously get so mad when
You
it's
know
like
what?
factually wrong or something, but it's not that anything's factually wrong necessarily. It's the way
It's the obvious
well
mistake.
it's the way things
That's
are delivered too. It's like yeah,
inflections.
yeah. It's
So
more than that
when
though.
I'm making it something with AI, when I make like a dialogue or a script with AI, if I listen to it and the inflection is wrong or like if there's a word that it's mispronouncing, I'm not gonna just move on. You know what I mean? Those people that you're talking about,
Not even
they'll
that though.
generate their script,
I
they'll
hear
just
you. I hear
drop
you on
footage
that.
on.
And that is definitely part of it where there's a yeah, there'll be a weird inflection or intonation or something. Sure, sure. But
And then I
it's
didn't know to
even
do.
but it's like
And
even
that's my
just the way like some things will be put in like God, where they're almost like they're trying to like church up just a regular sentence. If that makes sense, where like rather,
Mhm.
like they won't just say something plainly, it'll just be
Well, it's because they're trying to fill time.
right.
So
Okay.
YouTube in particular, there's those types of videos, they're monetizing wrong. They're
Okay.
just monetizing wrong. They're they are doing what most people think. Oh, when most people get on YouTube for like what they're like, oh, I'm gonna make so much money with
Uh-huh.
ads,
So they're just trying to make it longer. I
and that's
gotcha.
the
Okay.
there. So when you it used to be 10 minutes, now it's 8. You have to have an 8-minute video, and if you do that, then you could put an ad at the beginning, you could put an ad at the end, and you could put a mid-roll ad. So now 3 ads in one video. Um, and if somebody has premium, YouTube Premium, that just means you get paid more anyways because that you put 3 ads. So they're pushing and fluffing the video, just saying things to say them to make sure the video comes out over 8 minutes. But YouTube also favors videos that are pushing closer to 20 minutes nowadays. If you have a 20-minute video, you could add even more than one mid-roll ad. So they're looking for how many ad placements you could place. But the thing is that, like I told you, like my first year on YouTube, I mean, like that first year, one video made me like 50K in affiliate commissions, not sales, commissions. So I'm sold more than that, and then that same video made me like an additional 25K before it fizzled out. My point is like that's how you monetize on YouTube. You monetize by capturing like either you could build your email list, you could do affiliate sales, the merch is more valuable if you have a monetized account. You could even use the merch shelf. That's how you monetize on those platforms. Not y- Ad revenue is great, but don't make that your first priority. Those people, they're just trying to figure out how you could put as many ads in front of
Right.
their
Right.
audience as possible, and they're going by a formula. That's
That
it.
that makes a lot of sense. Like I guess what I was saying is, they like throw in like metaphor after metaphor after metaphor. Like rather than just being like like oh well, he was a strong character. It'll be like he Edward the Third was like a snarling dog fighting at the top of Mount. It's just like it's too much. You know what I mean? It's like it gets too churched up and like just too just it goes too far, it gets too much, and I just want to shut it off. And so there's still, again, surprise surprise, there's still a lot for AI to work out, and I think it's also probably partly what you're saying there, where there's a little bit of that happening where they're trying to just make it longer. But yeah, it's still, I, I guess what I'm saying is I'd still really prefer just having like a person narrate. Anyway, enough on that because I'm probably the only one even interested in that. Another
No,
person
I
in here,
100%. I totally
yeah,
agree with you though, Joe. Like 100%. Even and I'm somebody that uses AI content
right,
all the time, and I still, if you're going to use AI voiceovers, do it. Just put the actual effort in. I think the thing you're noticing, Joe, is that there used to be like a line where people had a certain amount of effort they had to put in to like a
yeah,
barrier of entry. And now the
it's too
barrier of
easy,
entry
yeah,
for cheaper content is too easy. So a lot of people are, it's the same sort of thing with like, I don't know if this is the same everywhere in the world. I know Netflix is not the same everywhere, but at least in the United States, if you open up Netflix, it's
Oh yeah, it's
99% crap
garbage. Yeah,
now. So I can't, like, I have to go look through all of that stuff. So half the time I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother opening Netflix unless I know what I'm going for, because I can't
it's
go
garbage. Yeah, it's
find,
garbage.
it's just crap. Yeah. So like, and I just stopped
Anyway,
watching them.
Dunk,
I
I want to
haven't
bring
watched
this
that
back to
type of
Giraffe
video in
real
a
quick
long time.
because we have someone
Okay, yeah,
someone
no worries.
DMing me about Giraffe, and I just wanted to bring this back.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, a new
Awesome.
friend of
Yep.
mine, Olympia, thank you for coming in here and popping in. Um, she's a great person. She's an amazing person, tremendous realtor, amazing realtor. Many people call her the best realtor ever. Welcome, Olympia. So I don't think she is a giraffe yet, and I just wanted to point out the fact that giraffes are still very early. 7.5 is a little bit of a it's a purchase. I'm not trying to say it isn't, but you're still early. To get access to the stacker, what you need to have is a giraffe and 1,000 Gary coin. Um, do we have all that? Do we have all the links up top, by the way?
Yeah,
Can you move it
I'll
to the
move it to the
front?
front.
Yeah, just to make
I
it
think it's the
easy.
very, I think it's like the first thing that was pinned.
So,
You
Move it
can
up to the
move
front.
mine to the front too, because there's another opportunity
Oh yeah,
just to come
so
in. Hi, Olympia.
yeah,
I'll move
I'm gonna
both of
I'm
those
gonna
suckers.
get there. So, Olympia, there's two things you can do right now. Um, as Dunk moves the links, there's one giveaway, like raffle going on that you can also join and get everything you need for only one soul. There's a bit of a gamble to it though. So, or here she's coming on up, so we can just chat with her. Hey there, hey Olympia,
Hey,
how you
Joe.
doing?
Good. So yes, I was looking at the links. I don't have a giraffe. You'll notice I got a Moonster yesterday because they went live.
Yeah, see.
So I just got a random one, but it was like their pre-mint sale. So I think they still have like 200 left before they close that space. Um, but they just went live on Moonsters. So I just got that. But I want to get a giraffe, but I'm going through your links, but I don't know what the Gary coins
So
are.
okay, so you need to have both for the stacker agent. So um if you look at the like very first pinned link right there that Dunk just moved to the front, okay,
Yeah.
if you just click on that and scroll down to like the second list, like the second post,
Mm-hmm.
that right there on
Okay.
Jupiter, that's the Gary coin. You need to have a
Okay.
1,000 of those, and then if you just scroll down one more, you'll see there's the Magic Eden where you can buy the giraffe.
Okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
and and you need to have one giraffe and 1,000 Gary coin to get access to the AI agent that will do the trading for you and all that. It's not released yet, so you're
Mm.
not going to have access to it yet. There's still a little bit of fine tuning
What do you?
going on with it.
Okay. Do you guys think like a couple weeks, 3 weeks,
What
like
was
just so I know,
what was
like,
announced
oh,
the like 3 days ago. What so the way things will work will be first the founder Gary is going to dox like one of his wallets and probably have Dunk, who's right here with us, work on it with him as well, since Dunk makes a lot of content and puts a lot of stuff on YouTube. So the two of them will dox like the first wallet so everyone can kind of see, hey, look at this thing, it's working, it's making money. And here's the deal, we already sort of have that too, because he's releasing results while it's on testnet right now, and it's doing very very well on testnet, even like the very first published results, and this is like going back to like Christmas time. The very, very first published results was a gain of 385% in a
oh
24-hour
wow.
period. So it's only getting better from there, by the way. So,
Okay.
I always say to like be conservative with things. I always say, look, even if we just did a 10% gain per day and you start with only one soul, somewhere, and about 105, 106 days later, that's $1 million. So don't even like, I don't even like to even mention the big gains. There'll be days where there's big massive gains, but even if we're just operating at like a 10% average, we're killing it. Even if we're operating at a 1% average, that works out to like, when we did the math on it, I think it was like a 700. It basically worked out to somewhere between like a 7 and 8x gain over a year. So I mean, i- as long as we're
Okay.
winning more than we're losing, we're doing great. So the thing that I think is going to happen with this, I mean, from the day that I bought my first Giraffe, which was like last October, till now, I've seen the price go from like $50, like point 0.4 Solana, all the way up to like $1,000. Um,
And it's also important to note that this community
four
has been around
years,
for
yeah.
about 4 years. With the goal has always been to help creators, and it started off as creators, but now it's kind of become more broad. People make money, so they can go do the things that they want to
Okay.
do. So it's kind of it's, and we've been working on different things in Web3 to find the right product, was it customer product fit or
Yeah, so like
whatever that
our
is.
vision, basically, you'll hear me say all the time. You probably heard me say this in the other space the other day. Like, our vision is all about not trading time for money.
Right, right,
That's
yeah.
our main
Hmm.
goal, is we don't want people to trade time for money. You weren't put here on the planet to spend your whole life punching a clock 40 hours a week, or in your case as a realtor, I know you're pounding the pavement probably more than 40 hours a week. At least when I was like
Yeah.
doing insurance, I know I was working like 80-hour weeks was like the norm, trying to find new clients and
Yeah.
stuff. So, and I don't know, call me crazy, but I don't think you were put here on this earth to spend your whole life trying to, close real estate deals. Call me crazy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. Uh,
No.
so, so, like with
Yeah.
with uh with the stacker agent, you're gonna have, an AI agent that lives on the blockchain and works for you just like an agent, just like a human agent would, right? A human agent works for you. Well, this is an AI agent that doesn't need to be fed. It's not a human, doesn't need sleep. It's just going to work 24/7 for you and make you money. That's and just the promise of that has been why our community has gone from, being a community where our coin was 4 cents. Now it's like hovering around 25 cents. Our NFT was point 0.4 Sol. Now it's 7.5. And
Hmm.
again, this is just the beginning. Like, we haven't even delivered the tech yet. We do have, in the community Telegram, we do have, like, we'll call out coins. We have our chat GPT. It's a stacker chat GPT that, operates on some of the same logic that the actual AI agent will operate with. So like, I even use that sometimes, where we have one skill that's called max extract that the agent will use, where basically, once like a new coin um, is launched on any of the new like platforms like pump.fun or launch my NFT or something, if it hits a 500,000 in market cap within the first 12 hours, there's like a 75% chance, like a 3 out of 4 chance, that that coin is going to end up at least doubling. Normally, it even will do like a 5 or 6x, but at the very least, doubling and making its way into a million plus market cap. So that's one of the skills
Okay.
that the trading agent has been trained on, to identify that. And that's something you can do right now if you're just locked in. If you're locked in and you're staring at charts all day, you can do that trade yourself. The problem is, which one of us is locked in all day? We're in here in spaces, or you're closing a
Right.
deal or doing
Yeah.
something with your wife or husband or kids, or you can't just be staring at charts all day. So um again, if you can lock in, it's something you can recognize, but once you have the AI agent working for you, you'll never miss one of those opportunities. So
Yeah, right, right. Well, thanks for the info.
yeah,
I'm going through the Jumbotron right now and taking a look. So cool.
yeah, yeah.
Hopefully I'll get in.
Awesome, awesome. And you see me around, so if you ever have questions, reach
Yeah.
out, please.
Yeah, I got you.
Right on.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks for popping in.
Thanks. Yep.
Thanks for popping in. Well, guys, with that too, I don't want to hold everyone here forever on Sunday. It is your Sunday. I want to give you guys some time. You come in here and you're gracious enough to listen to me like every day during the week. So thank you for that. So I'm not going to hold you here forever. But before we go, just a couple things. Check out Bearded Bong Man's space tonight. It's up there in the Jumbotron. Sign up for that. There's 700 million giveaways going on. That's the other thing, Olympia. Make sure you join the Telegram because there's always Gary giveaways going on. So join the Telegram for sure.
Is that up there?
Yeah, it's in that same one where I showed you the links for the coin.
Yeah.
Scroll down like two more posts and you'll see the Telegram link. It's
Oh,
yeah,
I got it. Got it.
there you
Cool.
go.
Thank you.
So yeah, definitely getting there because there's every day there's a giveaway. Like even me, I've won like 200 Gary coin in there um myself. So
Oh,
Cool.
yeah,
yeah.
I've won quite a
Yeah.
bit in there
So
too.
yeah, guys, so check out Bearded Bong Man and Long Neck Larry's space tonight. Um, Maui Nancy still is doing her raffle. Maui, are you still up here? Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can you talk for a second, or are you working?
I can. No, I can. I can talk. I have the weekends off.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
And I'm not folding laundry. So yeah, I woke up to 3 tickets sold, at 10 o'clock our time, California time. It was a current giraffe and two other people. They all bought, within 5-10 minutes of each other. So
Nice.
somebody said, rah, rah, let's get in, and did.
So you
So
still
I
have
did a
5 tickets open.
I still have 5 tickets open. So I did do a post
Five
with
opportunities.
tagging the 5 people that are in, saying, okay, great. I've got you guys listed, and we got 5 more tickets to sell.
So that's one other thing to you new folk, Olympia. If you win that raffle, which to enter the raffle it costs 1 Solana. Now, if you win, you get a giraffe and all the Gary coin you need. Now, of course, you may not win, so there's the risk. But if you do
Yeah. So
win,
wait, so that how many people are in the
so
raffle?
there's only 10 tickets that are ever sold.
10.
So
Oh,
right now there's 5 tickets. So you could buy all 5 of them, right? And have a 1 in 2 chance of winning now. Again, you may not you may also not
yeah.
win, but
Yeah. Is it just a random like pick? Is that how it works?
so Maui Nancy, the lady you just heard speaking, she sells the 10 raffle tickets. Once it gets to 10, she does a random draw.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe worth buying one
Yeah,
Solana.
yeah, it's worth
I
throwing one
mean,
in there.
yeah, it's worth throwing one in there and maybe get a chance of winning
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So, again, if you just hit her post up top there, you can buy
Yeah.
one. And
Whose giraffe is that? Maui Nancy has this like I've seen that giraffe around like a lot of times. Like people have copied it, I think. Who Maui Nancy, it says who's is that hers?
that's
Is
hers.
that her
Yeah, that's
NFT?
her NFT. Yeah.
Oh, that
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. I love that NFT. I love that. That's amazing.
Well, maybe
Okay,
Maui.
cool.
Maybe you want to sell your NFT. I don't know. There you go.
I don't know. This white background with the spikes. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the one with the spikes and the like heart glasses.
Oh, well,
That looks really cool. I love that one. But I've seen somebody else copied that one. I've seen it around somewhere and I'm like, is that theirs? Like I couldn't, I've seen it
Well, that
around.
one's definitely so. One thing some of us have done. So, for instance, Let me see. No, he's not in here.
Do people just copy images?
Well, we have let some people who couldn't afford a giraffe wear a giraffe, and
Ah,
yeah, so like there's
okay.
one guy in here, like Eric, he's worn some of my giraffe. This other guy, Code Nova, he's currently wearing one of my giraffe. There's another guy, Truman, he's wearing a
I
giraffe. And
gotcha.
it's just because like they
Mm.
just couldn't afford it at the time. And
Yeah, I get
yeah,
it.
yeah. So but they're trying to still help the community and do what they can type thing.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, then if I want to buy a ticket, I just reach out to Nancy.
It should be in that
And I'll.
post. You can, yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
you just hit the link. It links you up with a Helio Pay. Boom, just one Solana. I'll see it in my wallet. I'll add you to my list. And once I get all 10 tickets sold, JJ has been ever so kind that, he runs a stream usually a couple of times a day. And I felt the most transparent way to pick the winner was to put all 10 people on a wheel and have him spin the wheel during his live stream, and I'd pick the winner that way. Last time I did it the old fashioned way. I wrote everybody's name on a piece of paper, folded them up, shook them up,
oh, yeah.
threw them
I love it.
down, and picked the
Okay.
winner and videoed myself doing it with my giraffe friends around me.
Yeah,
That's
fair
what the
enough.
grandmother kindergarten teacher does. So
Fair enough. Okay,
okay.
yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy one, so hopefully it'll come through.
All right. Awesome.
So
Awesome.
I'll look
cool.
forward to it.
Thanks.
Putting you on the list.
All right, thank you.
All right, aloha.
Aloha. All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Joe.
Yeah, of course, of course. Um, this is guys, this is why I get out there and go hang out in other spaces and try to go cast the net and meet other people and kind of tell everyone about what we're doing here because we have such cool stuff and we're giraffes, man. We're number one right now, so people want to be part of the community. We're doing big things in here, so I know that's how I felt when I first came in. So anyway, guys, I love y'all. We'll be back here again tomorrow, same time, same place, and we'll do it again.
All right. See you at Long Nut and Bearded's space tonight.
That's right, guys. We'll see you
All
there.
right. Aloha.
Aloha. Bye, everybody.
Take care, everyone. Bye.